Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Miss Faye and this is my world. Today's topic is, you know what? Never doubt your intuition. That gut feeling that you have, don't doubt it. Before we get started, I want to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to all the new viewers, the new subscribers, and welcome to you who have been with me from the beginning. I really appreciate you. Now, those of you who are interested in these caps, they are available in my online store, and you'll find a link in the description. Now, let's dive into this topic. Never doubt your intuition, that feeling that you have in your gut just telling you something. Listen to it. Now, we do have a letter. So we're going to dive right into this letter and see what she says. Once I began my spiritual journey and things started to reveal themselves and my discernment grew, I stopped drinking alcohol. I started to feel very uncomfortable around my older brother. I would feel very stressed and upset whenever he wanted to come see or call me. I felt happier when I had no contact with him, but he was very overbearing and controlling. So contact with him was regular and daily. If I didn't answer his calls, he would call me back multiple times. If I didn't answer his texts, he would get upset and say that I had his contact muted. But that for a man I'm dating, I would pick up. Yeah, right. You would pick up if it was a man if it were anybody that you wanted to talk to, you would pick up. Yeah, so I don't know why he's having it hard taking the hint. I never liked his overbearing ways. At one point, I had to put a stop to him just popping up at my house almost on a daily basis. My brother moved out of state with his family, so I hadn't seen him for a few months, up until Thanksgiving holiday. This was the first time I was fully sober around him or them. Previously, there were always drinks involved, and that was the norm with our get-togethers. You know, that's a lot of the norm with a lot of people's get-together, drinking, and even in dating. First thing you do when you go to the restaurant is grab you a glass of wine, and hopefully you don't grab anything stronger than that. But a lot of people do, or they get into it. So I pulled a short video. I want to show you this video before we go on with this letter. Okay, let's watch this video. Then we're going to talk about this drinking part, and then we're going to go on with the letter. Okay, here we go.
5 ways alcohol affects you spiritually.
5 ways that alcohol affects you spiritually. 1, not only does it lower your vibration, but it also amplifies the ego as well, and not in a good way. Sure, it may ease your mind, distract you, take the edge off a little bit, but truly it's just throwing you off spiritually, as well as many other ways. I don't know if you guys ever noticed, but you could be so annoyed by someone in your normal life while you're sober, have nothing in common, but as soon as you drink, all of a sudden you like them, and now all of a sudden you have something in common. And that's just your vibrations meeting on a low frequency. 2, it makes you super susceptible to lower entities and low vibrational people. We all know that alcohol is a spirit, but what people don't know is that it literally is a spirit. That's why when people drink, they act totally out of character. And some people, you just don't even know who they are. That's because their body is overtaken by a spirit, more than likely. To see this live in action, all you have to do is go to the club. And especially if you're a worker or you're sober, you can totally see the entities. 3, it muffles your inner voice as well. Drinking will cause a haze in all your spiritual abilities. And if you're inebriated, there's a good chance that you might miss out on a calling or a warning from spirit. So be careful. 4, it creates holes in your aura. For those that don't know, your aura is an energetic field that surrounds your body. It protects you from all kind of things unseen and seen. And if you're on your spiritual journey, you have probably been working on keeping your aura clean. So why waste it on alcohol to mess it all up? 5, throws your chakras way off balance. Living in this 3D world, it's already hard to keep your chakras aligned. And if you've been working hard on keeping that balanced, why waste it by drinking? That's why a lot of times after people drink, they feel way off. Most people focus on it takes a couple of days to feel better physically, but it takes even longer spiritually.
Okay, I wanted to show you in that short video clip about alcohol. What is the alcohol? And it's filled with evil spirits. Evil. So when you're drinking, all sorts of things can happen. If you drink too much, the demons fully take over you and you don't even remember what happened. Okay. So I wanted to just give you that little education about alcohol. And it's good that you stop drinking. All right. And now you'll see things in a new perspective because there's no demonic energy working you from that alcohol. Okay. While I was holding his newborn baby, we were seated on the same couch. And the baby was being fussy. So my brother takes the pacifier and is tapping the pacifier in his mouth to try to quiet him. I guess they just tap it like that. Okay, I had babies. I never hit them on a pacifier in their mouth. Okay, whatever. He was to the right of me and he used his left arm to do this. So, now, let's do it this way. I'm going to be him. We're going to do a little demonstration to see how this works. Okay. I'm him, and this is you with the baby. So now, what he does is, I guess you're a little over there. What he does is reach over you and start messing with the baby. Reach over you, start messing with the baby. Okay. He was to the right of me, and he used his left hand to do this. His left hand brushed against my breast lightly, and as I was happening to feel very uncomfortable, and I picked up a weird energy as if it was being done noticeably. So he over here messing with the baby. And the baby, I know the baby's got to be close to your breast because that's how you hold the baby. So now he over here tapping the thing with the baby over here. And then just probably grab your breast on the way back. Okay. Okay. And then you felt the energy that he knew what he was doing. Now, you say here at the top, you say that you're in your late 30s and your brother's in his mid 40s. Okay, just put that context there. This lasted about 30 seconds. That was almost a minute. that was 30 seconds. It's kind of a long time for him to be fumbling at your breast. Okay. During those seconds, when it hit me that I felt something wasn't right, I started to shrink my body back and move away from his arm. But I did it in a supple way. You know what you should have done? You should have said something. You should have said something right there and then and told him when he reached over you. You should have knocked his arm away. Don't do that. You understand? See, a lot of times we let things go. And then in hindsight, we get upset about it. And we feel in hindsight that we should have said something. But what I'm telling you is we allow too many of these sort of situations to get past us. And then it continues. And that's just a source of aggravation. Because if your brother is so comfortable to be stretching over you and grabbing your breasts and all this kind of stuff, he's way too comfortable. It's not just that he's controlling here. Something else is going on here. Okay? Controlling and overbearing is something else happening. All right. By then, the very same thing happened a few minutes later. And he does the very same thing, using the very same arm. And I reacted the very same way. It didn't feel like a coincidence. Yeah, but did you react to him? Why are you mute when it comes to telling your brother that don't do that? You know what? I don't understand. After I left his home, oh, maybe you didn't do it because you were at his house? It wouldn't have mattered to me. No, you should have straightened him out probably years ago. All right. After I left his home and went back to the hotel, I tried to put it out of my mind, but it kept sitting on me that I didn't feel right. Right. You trying to push. This is like a traumatic wound, okay? What you're trying to do is just act like you weren't wounded. That wound is never going to go away. What it's going to do is just sit back there in your subconscious. And every time something happens, another wound, that wound's just going to get bigger and bigger until it either consumes you or you blow up and consume somebody else. Don't hold these things, people. Don't hold them. Straighten them out when they happen. All right? Because it will cause you more harm than good holding this type of thing in, or any type of thing. If somebody harms you, you need to straighten them out right there. Let them know that they harmed you. Okay? Or offended you. Same thing. Fast forward to this past weekend, my brother was in town, so I went to visit him and the kids. Everything was normal, so I told myself, see, you made something out of nothing. That's what you're telling yourself, right? No, you didn't. Until we were all saying bye to each other, and he swung his arm as if to tap me on the shoulder, and his hand hit my boob. Your brother has got an obsession with your breast. With your breast. And that's why he keeps grabbing them at every moment he can. That's it. He's got an obsession. My boob bounced. So I am very clear that it happened. Well, y'all, you should have straightened your brother out ages ago. Probably when you started getting boobs. He was probably messing with you then. He didn't say sorry or acknowledge it or act as if he did that. So he wasn't acting like he did anything because it's not the first time he did it. And he thought you were okay with it. You haven't said anything. He enjoys it, so why not? You understand, ladies? You can't blame other people for things that you accept. People cannot read your mind. You have to be clear. Use your voice. Tell them. And I know if you're kind of introverted, it's hard for you to speak. And if you're an empath, it's even harder for you to speak up. But see, this is like practice makes perfect. And I'm an empath, and I know where you're coming from because I tolerated a lot growing up and not speaking about it. And I carried that hurt and burden into my adult life. Think about it. Every time somebody hurts or insults you or whatever, it's like a rock. Then when the next one comes, then you got another rock. Now you got another rock and another rock. Come on. You don't have to carry those burdens. Straighten them out when they happen. Okay, let's see if you did. All right, he didn't say anything, or he didn't even act like he did anything. When it happened right away, I thought, did he do that on purpose? I felt like it was. Probably. Yeah, I got brothers, and none of them have hit my boob ever. So, I've had brothers, babies, boys, no, that's not normal. I've tried to convince myself that I am overreacting. No, you're not. That it was a casual mistake. And tried to convince myself that what I felt and feel isn't so. The question whether I was drinking heavily, things happened. When you were drinking heavily, things happened that you don't remember because you were overtaken by that evil spirit, and evil spirits are very lustful. And although you and your brother didn't go all the way, he probably was all over your boobs, but you don't remember because you were drunk. Okay? And this is all part of that. That's why it's good that you stop drinking. Now that you understand what happens when you drink. You drink a little, you got a little spirits. They come with the drinking. There's no way around. They come with it. The more you drink, the more powerful it takes over you. And when you get drunk, it's totally taken over you. That's why drunks can't remember what happened. The same thing. I'm sure most will question, why would I even think this way? But what I felt during and after the incidents, I'm very clear that it was inappropriate. It was very inappropriate. I thought about saying if one more thing happened to be sure again, but I felt tortured at this and honestly just wanted to remove him completely. I hesitate because I do love my nephews, but I cannot stand to communicate or even be around him and feel this way. Okay, all right. This is what you need to do. First of all, before we talk about how you should handle your brother, always trust your intuition. That's your spiritual protection. Your intuition is there to protect you and to guide you. If you don't listen to it, anything can happen to you. Have you ever, you had a situation in front of you and something say, don't do that. Something just said and you'll think, don't do that. But another voice said, no, don't do that. Why not? Go ahead. Go ahead. Do your thing. And then kept being aggressive, pushing. Go ahead, do it. You went on and did it. And it was the worst thing you could have done. Because you didn't listen to your inner voice. That quiet voice. That's your intuition. What you listened to was your ego. People, understand what I'm telling you. There's a difference. And a lot of people, when they hear voices, they don't know what voice they're listening to. The ego is a self-satisfying voice. It's about assertiveness. It will push you to do something for yourself. It's a competitive kind of thing. Your inner voice. Okay, let me think. I think I pulled a little official definition. All right, let's go here. Ego is the part of the self that is concerned with one's own desires. It's about self, needs, wants. When the intuition is a feeling or inner knowing that comes from a deeper space within yourself. You understand? Your intuition is that part of yourself that is connected to the divine source energy. You understand? The divine source energy. And if you listen to it, it will guide you. Now, the intuition voice is a quiet, supple voice, where the ego is a loud voice. It's in your head. It's a loud voice. It's shouting at you. But usually, when you are faced with a situation, Your intuition will be the first voice you hear, but it's deep inside and quiet. Now, if you drunk, you'll never hear it. When you drunk, you're not going to hear that voice. You're going to hear another voice. But in a situation, that very first voice that you hear deep inside of you tells you what to do. And it's quiet too. Very quiet. That's why it's good to go in meditation, so you can hear this voice. And it's the way it is, it's an into knowing. An into knowing. You see? That's the voice you listen to and never doubt it. You see, you had this intuition about your brother. Now, whether something happened when you both were drunk and whatever, which very well could have. I mean, fumbling around his brothers, and he was probably fascinated with your boobs anyway. He might be fascinated with a lot of people's boobs who look like yours. You understand? At the size of yours or whatever. You see? It seems like he does have a fascination about boobs other than you. It's not you or personal. It's just something that you got. All right? See, I wanted to talk about him first before I talk about how you need to handle this situation. All right? So we know that it's a fascination he's got about breast. Now you know to always listen to your first gut feeling about any situation that comes up in your life. Don't question it, because when you question it, that's your ego. That's your ego. Why would you do that? And then the ego will bring all kind of examples why you shouldn't listen to your intuition. Okay? Be careful of that. Now, how you handle this situation? You've already let him fondle you many times and many times over. I think you should have a conversation with your brother. He's controlling, he's demanding, and you might be a little fearful to confront him. So, write him a letter. Write him a letter. And be very clear in the letter. And tell him you don't appreciate. Don't ask him, did you really mean it? Or was it just you just happened? No. You tell him, I don't appreciate you touching my boobs, and you have been doing it on a number of occasions, and I needed to stop. You need to be clear with these people. And if you have a voice, now I'm just assuming that you are fearful to confront your brother. You write a letter, make it clear, make it a long letter, tell him the whole thing. Don't leave anything out that you got to come back and say, I forgot to tell you. Because when you send that letter, you want a clear understanding. Now, if he cares about you as being his sister and he loves you, he will rectify the situation. He'll respond to you right away and apologize, and then you can have a relationship with your brother. Okay, because this seems like your only issue. Do that. Now, if you have a voice, then you make arrangements to sit down with just you and your brother somewhere where nobody else can come and mess around with you. Right? In a neutral place. Maybe you invite him out to lunch or something like that. You and your brother, and you be clear with him. Tell him that you don't like it when he touches your boob. You don't like it. Don't even go into, it could be an accident. Don't go there. Just tell him you don't like him touching your boob, and you need for him to stop it. Just like that. And then see what he says. Leave it. It's like tennis. You knock the ball in his court and see how he returns it. Just like a tennis game. Just knock the ball over the court and see what he's going to do with it. Be plain. Be clear. But don't be on the offense right away. And don't be on the defense. Just conversation. But be direct, because you say that he's controlling and demanding. So he might be forceful. he may have that aura around him. So you don't want to go in as a meek little victim, begging for his, apology. You don't want to go in. You want to be confident. Now, this is assuming that you have a voice with your brother. Okay? If you don't have a voice, write the letter. Okay? But it has to be discussed. You didn't say anything else that's a problem with your brother, and you want to see your nephews. So you need to straighten this out right now and not let it get any further. Not let it get any further. Yeah, this kind of thing can destroy you if you hold it. And you've already held it too long as it is. You see? So, and don't let him tell you that maybe when y'all was drunk, you didn't have no problem. Don't you tell him. Okay, don't you tell him that maybe it happened when we was drunk over. No. Just tell him you don't like it and you want it to stop. And then let him come with whatever he thinks happened. All right, you stand on that ground. Stand on that ground and don't start backstepping. And when he doesn't say anything, don't try to fill it in. Let it be silent. You go ahead and eat your lunch and wait and see what he's going to say. You understand? That's the way to handle that. I hope you're the best. I hope that it helps others. And I really hope that you understand this message today. Now, for those of you who have letters that you would like for me to answer, my email address is in the description. Please send your letters because actually your situations are not unique. There are many women out here benefit from me reading your letter, coming up with some advice that can help you and others. So I really appreciate your letters and also your comments. I really like reading them. I thank you for your comments and I do reply to those where I'm able. I want to extend a special thank you to those that leave a donation. It really helps the channel to grow. I wish you all the very best and much happiness, and I really hope to see you next time.